God says this directly into the quiet place of your spirit, and He is asking you to listen with your whole heart, because the moment you open your soul to this message, something begins shifting around you instantly. You may not feel it in the first second, but the atmosphere around your life changes with every word you allow yourself to receive. God says there is an important alert surrounding your life right now, something that heaven has been watching, something that angels have been trying to warn you about, and now the moment has arrived where you must hear this clearly. Only 2 minutes are left before something tries to move against your peace, something tries to shake your faith. Something tries to bring fear into your heart. But God says before anything reaches you, before anything touches your destiny, before any bad news tries to walk toward your life, He will stand in front of it, He will shield you, He will protect you, and He will not allow even one drop of destruction to fall on you. God says very bad news was assigned to your day, scheduled for tonight at 11 p.m., placed in the path of your destiny by forces that do not want to see you rise, forces that want to see you broken, silent, and hopeless. But heaven says that before the clock moves, before the hour turns, before the darkness tries to enter your home, God is stepping into your situation. He is warning you not to ignore this message because your protection is rising through these words. God is speaking urgently because the spiritual realm has already detected something moving toward you, something that had the potential to disturb your heart, to make you cry, to make you question yourself, to make you wonder if God had left you. But God says He has not left you for one moment. He has not abandoned you. He has not walked away from your side. He has not allowed anything to break you even when you didn't know it came near you. He says you are safe because He is guarding you with a shield that no human eye can see but every dark intention recognizes and fears. God says that something was spoken about you, something was planned behind your back, something was whispered in a moment where you were not present. But God says He was there, and He heard everything. He knows exactly what was being prepared for you, and He knows exactly who was trying to place the weight of negativity on your journey. And God says, do not panic. Do not fear. Do not allow your mind to race. The reason He is sending this message is because He is stopping what was coming toward you. But He needs your spirit to stay open, He needs your heart to stay connected to Him, and He needs your trust to stay strong, because what He is doing for you right now is bigger than what the enemy is trying to do against you. God says the reason this message sounds urgent, the reason it feels heavy, the reason it feels like heaven is speaking quickly is because time is moving quickly in the spiritual realm. Something tried to reach you before midnight, something tried to turn your peace into confusion, something tried to change your blessings into fear. But God says He will not allow this to happen if you stay under His covering, if you stay in prayer, if you stay connected to Him in this moment. He wants you to breathe and listen because He is about to turn this darkness into a testimony. What was supposed to be bad news will become the moment you remember that God protected you even when you didn't know what was coming. You will look back and say that God rescued you in silence, God saved you without noise, God blocked something that would have wounded you deeply, God says the message that was meant to break you will now be reversed. The bad news that was coming toward you tonight at 11 p.m. was never meant to prosper. It was meant to scare you, but God says He will not allow fear to be the ruler of your life. There is something bigger happening around you right now. Angels are standing at each side of your home. Archangel Michael is holding his sword over your atmosphere. Every dark shadow that tried to move into your night will be stopped. God says He is moving right now, He is shifting something right now, He is stopping something right now, and He is removing something right now that was trying to enter your destiny. God says, do not leave this message undone. Do not step away from the words He is pouring into your spirit. If you leave these words halfway, if you walk away from the message heaven is giving you right now, your heart will remain unprepared for what was trying to reach you. But when you stay, when you receive every word, when you let your spirit open to God completely, everything that was assigned against you loses its power instantly. God says this message becomes your shield, your protection, your spiritual covering, your divine announcement that He is taking control over every situation surrounding you. God says He has seen the tears you kept inside, the confusion you didn't voice, the silent battles you didn't share, and the fears you tried to forget. He knows how tired your heart has been. He knows how heavy your thoughts have been. He knows that recently you felt something shifting in your life, something you couldn't explain, something that felt like a warning inside your spirit. God says that feeling was not random. That feeling was Him. He was trying to prepare you, trying to pull you closer, trying to make you aware that something spiritual was forming. But now He says you are not alone in this. He is stepping into your situation with full authority. God says tonight at 11 p.m., something was written against you, something was meant to arrive at your life, but heaven is erasing it now. This is why He is asking you not to ignore this message, not to delay reading it, not to push it aside. He says if you continue reading, His presence will surround you. If you continue reading, His protection will cover you. If you continue reading, His angels will be positioned around your life in a way that nothing can harm you. If you continue reading, you will be spiritually prepared for the next hours, and nothing will break you. Nothing will shake you. Nothing will surprise you in a negative way. God says the darkness tried to come, but His light is stronger. The heaviness tried to rise, but His peace is deeper. The fear tried to whisper, but His voice is louder. God says you are not receiving this message by accident, you are receiving it because your spirit was calling for divine protection. Even when you did not speak it out loud. Heaven heard you. Heaven saw you. Heaven responded for you. God says He needs you to trust Him like a child trusts the light. He needs you to believe that where He is leading you is safer than where you came from. He needs you to know that this alert is not to scare you but to prepare you. This message is not punishment, it is protection. It is His way of placing His hand over your life and saying, nothing will harm you tonight. Nothing will disrupt your peace. Nothing will enter your path that I have not already defeated. God says He is bringing calm into your atmosphere. He is lifting the traps from your pathway. He is exposing the intentions of those who tried to bring negativity into your life. He is removing the energy of fear, taking away the plan of sorrow, and blocking the door to disappointment. Something was intended to shock you tonight, but God says He will override it. He will not let you cry. He will not let you suffer. He will not let you break under the weight of someone else's intentions. You are His child, and He is stepping into your defense. God says rest assured. Nothing will go wrong with you. Nothing will collapse. Nothing will destroy your peace. Heaven has taken control of the situation, and angels are already moving. Your fears will not win. Your worries will not win. The darkness will not win. God says He has already won this battle for you. Just trust Him. Stay with Him, and pray to Him. He is right beside you, and He will not let anything harm you, not tonight, not tomorrow, not ever. God says this to you in this very moment, in the quiet space where your heart is listening more than your mind, in the place where heaven leans closer to whisper something that was meant only for you. God says that time is moving quickly, faster than you feel prepared for, and heaven is giving you this alert not to frighten you, but to prepare you, protect you, and position you so you do not fall into the emotional storm that was trying to rise around you. God says there are only a few moments left before energy shifts around you, and even though something unpleasant tries to come your way, nothing will be allowed to harm you, because you are being guarded, shielded, and lifted by divine protection that surrounds your life like a wall of unseen fire and gentle light. God says you are safe, you are covered, and you must not fear what your physical eyes cannot understand. God says that in the spiritual realm, something was already moving toward you, an unpleasant message, a disappointment, or a twist that was meant to shake your peace at exactly 11 p.m. But heaven has intercepted that plan, and you are being warned so that you do not walk blindly into something that was never meant to break you. God says the enemy wanted you to cry tonight, but God will not let your tears become a weapon against you. Instead, God says this message is being delivered to you in urgency because something important must be stabilized inside you. Fear should not enter. Anxiety should not enter. Doubt should not enter. Only trust, only prayer, only surrender, only faith. God says your heart was feeling something strange, something heavy, something uncertain today, even before you understood what it was. Your spirit sensed it before your mind knew. You felt a sudden silence around you, a sudden shift in people, a sudden confusion. You didn't know why. But now you are being told. Heaven is removing a bad outcome that was designed to appear tonight. There was a trap in the form of news, words, or decisions made behind doors you cannot see. God says do not worry, because what was meant to bring you sadness will not succeed, As long as you open your spirit and allow this message to flow through you, God says the next 2 minutes are not about time, they are about alignment. Heaven is aligning you to protection. Heaven is aligning you to comfort. Heaven is aligning you to safety. Heaven is aligning you to a revelation that will stop the emotional blow that was coming. God says you are not supposed to cry tonight. You are not supposed to break tonight. You are not supposed to feel lost tonight. You are supposed to stand still, breathe, pray, trust, and watch how quickly God shifts a situation that looked like it would collapse under its own pressure. God says someone around you has been holding something they should have told you. They have been hiding their real feelings, or hiding a mistake, or hiding something connected to you. They thought they could let the truth come out at a moment that would hurt you the most. But heaven is revealing everything now. God says the truth may try to reach you at 11 p.m. in a way that shocks you or confuses you, but that is why this message is being delivered with urgency. Heaven wants your heart prepared, not shaken. Heaven wants you alert, not wounded. Heaven wants you aware, not blindsided. God says you have been too trusting with someone who has not earned that trust. This person is connected to the bad news you are being warned about. They did something or said something, and they think it will appear before you in a way that causes you deep sadness. But God says the plan will not work if you stay close to Him, if you pray, if you trust. Nothing is strong enough to break the protection placed around your life. No message delivered at 11 p.m. can enter your spirit unless you open the door to fear. God says keep that door closed. Keep your heart steady. Keep your prayer active. God says the reason heaven is warning you urgently is because this moment is spiritually sensitive. Your path is shifting. Something powerful is about to be released in your life. Something new. Something that lifts you out of everything that has been troubling you for months. But before this blessing arrives, the enemy tried to send one last emotional attack, hoping you would be distracted, discouraged, and spiritually drained. God says do not let that happen. You are stronger than you think, and heaven is watching over you. God says you have cried too much this year already. You have been disappointed too many times. You have carried burdens quietly. You have been misunderstood. You have been blamed for things that were not your fault. You have given more than you received. You have forgiven people who did not realize the value of your forgiveness. You have held on when you were tired. You have shown love in places where love was not returned to you. You have walked through storms without complaining. God says heaven has seen all of it. Heaven has counted every tear. Heaven has watched every night you could not sleep. Heaven has heard every prayer you whispered under your breath. And now you are finally stepping into a chapter where the pain does not repeat. God says the bad news that tries to come tonight is not meant for your spirit. It is only meant to test your emotional ground. But God says you will pass this test. You will not crumble. You will not fall. You will not break. You will not give the enemy the satisfaction of your tears. You will stand still, breathe, and remember who is protecting you. God says there is nothing in this world more powerful than divine protection. Nothing can remove what heaven has secured for you. Nothing can harm what heaven has chosen to guard. God says a blessing is coming to replace the sorrow that tried to reach you. A breakthrough is coming to replace the fear that tried to enter. A miracle is coming to replace the disappointment planned against you. Something beautiful, powerful, and unexpected is being prepared behind the scenes. And this is why the enemy tried to weaken you with bad news before your blessing arrived. But God says you will not be shaken. You will not lose. You will not fall apart. You will rise, because heaven is lifting you. God says you must pray tonight. Just a small prayer. Even a soft whisper. Even a breath that says, God, I trust you. That is enough. When you pray, heaven becomes louder than fear. Angels become stronger than negative energy. Protection becomes thicker than the attack. Peace becomes greater than confusion. Light becomes brighter than any shadow. God says there are people waiting to see you break, but you will not give them that satisfaction. There are people who thought tonight would be the night you fall apart emotionally, but they will be shocked when they see you calm, steady, peaceful, smiling, and protected. God says you are stepping into a phase where nothing and no one can destroy your spirit. You are stronger now. You are wiser now. You are spiritually sharper now. You are protected more than ever before. God says the warning is not meant to scare you, it is meant to save you. Heaven alerts those who are chosen. Heaven warns those who are loved. Heaven protects those who have a purpose. And you have a purpose bigger than the pain that tried to touch you. God says trust. God says breathe. God says pray. God says stay close. God says rest in His protection. God says no bad news will have power over you. God says nothing will go wrong with you. God says you are safe. God says you are protected. God says your blessing is coming, and no attack can stop it. God says keep your heart open and your fear closed. Tonight, heaven stands guard around you. If you are reading this, you are already protected. God is with you. God is covering you. God is guiding you. And nothing will shake you, not tonight, not ever, because you are held in divine hands that will never let you fall. God says this message is being placed before you at this exact moment because heaven has been watching the weight you have been carrying inside your heart, the silent tears you never showed anyone, and the fears that tried to swallow your courage in the past few weeks. God says He knows what has been happening around you, even the things you never spoke aloud. He knows the heaviness, He knows the confusion, and He knows the storm that tried to approach you in the darkness when no one else noticed. And now God says something very important, something urgent, something that cannot be delayed for even a minute because the clock is moving fast and heaven is watching every second. God says, only 2 minutes left before something shifts in your spiritual atmosphere, something that will affect the events of tonight, something that could either protect you or shake you deeply depending on the choices you make in this moment. God says He does not want fear to enter you, He does not want panic to rise in your chest, but He wants to open your eyes and bring clarity because a very bad news is approaching you at 11 p.m., something meant to destroy your peace, something that was never meant for you but was planned by someone who wanted to see you broken, confused, or powerless. And God says this: if you leave this message now, if you skip this moment, if you ignore heaven's calling at this exact time, the burden of this news will fall heavily on your heart and you will cry more than you can imagine. But if you stay, if you listen, if you receive what heaven is revealing, God Himself will stand between you and the bad news and not a single thing will harm you. God says He is protecting you right now more than ever because someone tried to speak something against you, someone tried to move something behind your back, someone tried to create a situation that would cause you emotional pain. Heaven watched it. Heaven saw the injustice. Heaven recorded the moment someone tried to send negativity toward you. God says that is why this message is urgent. That is why only 2 minutes remain. That is why the spiritual alarm has been sounded. God says He does not want you to face this alone. You were never meant to stand without divine protection. And right now, as you read this, God is placing angels around you, guarding every corner of your home, shielding your energy, covering your thoughts, and blocking the doorway through which the bad news was trying to enter. God says someone was going to tell you something today that would disturb your peace, a message that would shake you emotionally. Someone planned to call you or send a message meant to hurt your spirit. But God says you must not fear because He is stepping in. You are not alone. You are safe. And even though the situation looks intense, God is turning it toward your favor. He is rewriting the ending. He is blocking the negativity. He is standing between you and the pain. But He says that you must stay connected to Him in this moment, because if you walk away now, if you ignore His voice, the heaviness that was meant for your protection will fall on you as confusion instead. God says He is speaking clearly. Do not leave this message right now. God says every spiritual battle you have been facing has been building toward this night. There were people thinking they could speak about you secretly. There were intentions that were not pure. Someone thought they could disturb you at a time when your energy is rising, when your destiny is shifting, when your blessings are coming close. They felt threatened by the light around you. They felt uneasy watching you rise. And because of this, they tried to project something harmful toward you. God says He saw it. He heard it. And He stopped it from reaching you. But He needs you to stay with Him. He needs you to trust Him. He needs you to open your heart fully because He is protecting you from something you do not yet see. God says the bad news that was supposed to come at 11 p.m. was designed to break your spirit so you would lose faith, lose hope, lose your sense of direction. But God says He will not allow that to happen. Not to you. Not in this season. Not while He is guiding your steps. He says this message is your shield. This message is your protection. This message is the cancellation of the negativity that was coming your way. Heaven has stepped into your timeline. Heaven has interrupted the plan of darkness. Heaven has placed a spiritual barrier between you and the storm. God says that He is with you and nothing will go wrong with you as long as you trust Him and pray to Him. He says He is wrapping you with divine strength right now, lifting your spirit, calming your mind, and removing every unseen burden that was trying to attach itself to your energy. God says someone around you has been holding on to jealousy or resentment. They were planning to release something tonight, a message, a statement, a decision, or a piece of information, that would have hurt you emotionally. But God says He is not only stopping them, He is exposing their intention. You may not know the full truth yet, but heaven has already seen it. And God says He will reveal things slowly, gently, in a way you can handle without breaking. He never wants to overwhelm you. He never wants to give you more than your heart can carry. That is why this message is being delivered before the clock strikes 11. Heaven is preparing your spirit. Heaven is aligning your path. Heaven is clearing your destiny so that nothing can block the blessings that are already on their way to you. God says you have been strong for too long. You have been carrying your pain silently. You have been pretending to be okay when internally you were exhausted. You wanted clarity. You wanted answers. You wanted peace. And heaven is giving you all of that today. But first, God needs to warn you so that you don't walk blindly into a situation meant to shake you. He is protecting you in advance. He says He is canceling the bad news that was meant to arrive at 11 p.m. You will not receive it. It will not reach you. It will lose its power. It will fall apart before it touches your spirit. God says this is His promise to you. God says someone who once pretended to care about you has not been honest. They have been carrying something in their heart that they did not express. They were planning to act in a way that would confuse or hurt you. But God says He is interrupting their steps. He is guiding you away from the hurt. He is blocking the emotional pain that would have come if this message had not reached you in time. That is why heaven said only 2 minutes left. That is why the urgency was so intense. Time is shifting. Energy is shifting. Heaven is moving fast because tonight needed divine intervention. God says you must hear this clearly. Nothing will harm you. Nothing will shake you. Nothing will break your peace. You are safe under His wings. He is covering your home, your heart, your finances, your relationships, your spirit. He is sending angels to stand guard outside your doors, your windows, the corners of your room. You may not see them physically, but you will feel a sudden calm in your spirit, a warmth in your chest, a lightness in your breathing. This is the sign that God's protection is active. God says even though bad news was meant to come, He is replacing it with a blessing. He is turning what was meant to hurt you into something that will actually elevate you. Someone may change their mind. Someone may fail to send the message. Someone may lose the courage to speak negativity. Someone may be stopped by an unexpected event. Someone may stay silent instead of hurting you. That is God's intervention working. God says He is also preparing a miracle for you. Something unexpected is coming, not at 11 p.m. but shortly after, something meant to restore your faith, something meant to strengthen your spirit, something meant to show you that heaven has not forgotten you. God says you have a destiny, and nothing can take it away from you. Every moment you felt overlooked or abandoned was seen by Him. Every time you prayed secretly was heard by Him. Every time your heart silently cried, He saw the tears even when no one else did. And He says you are stepping into a phase of peace and divine clarity. He will remove the people who are not meant for your journey. He will expose the intentions that were hidden. He will open doors you prayed for. He will protect you from emotional traps. He will guide your steps so carefully that not a single thing will derail you. God says He needs you to trust Him deeply tonight. Pray before you sleep. Say His name with faith. And He will carry you through this moment and into a morning filled with peace. You are safe. You are protected. You are blessed. Nothing will go wrong with you because God Himself is standing beside you. God says this directly into the quiet place of your spirit. Into the part of you that has been trembling without telling anyone, into the part of you that has been waiting for something real, something divine, something that feels like God Himself stepping into your room. God says there is an important alert over your life right now, and heaven is not allowing you to ignore this. Only 2 minutes left. A shift, a warning, a revelation, a protection. Something very bad was supposed to reach you today at 11 p.m., but God is stepping between you and that darkness. God says if you walk away from this message, if you shrug it off, if you take this lightly, you will cry so much because you will not understand why suddenly everything felt heavy and confusing. But if you open your heart right now, if you receive this, if you let heaven speak, God says He Himself will reposition everything that was trying to go wrong for you. God says you are safe. Even if your situation feels dangerous, confusing, or uncertain, you are safe because the Lord is standing beside you right now. Even if the world feels loud and the air around you feels heavy, the angels are holding your name in their hands. Even if people tried to speak against you or someone tried to send negativity your way, God says none of it is going to destroy you. None of it can enter your life if you trust Him in this very moment. The enemy tried to send fear, but God is sending clarity. The enemy tried to send loss, but God is sending restoration. The enemy tried to send panic, but God is sending peace that will surround your thoughts like a wall. God says open this immediately because the message you are receiving is not here by chance. Something was scheduled in the spirit realm for tonight, something heavy, something you weren't prepared to face, something that could have shaken you deeply. But heaven is stepping in early because God refuses to let you carry this alone. God says there is a spiritual interception happening because He refuses to let fear destroy your peace. God says 11 p.m. was supposed to bring bad news, but now 11 p.m. will bring proof that God is with you. God says a divine shield is covering your home, covering your name, covering your spirit. For so long, you have been moving through life invisible, unnoticed, unheard, but heaven has been watching every moment. Every tear. Every disappointment. Every person who lied to you, betrayed you, or walked away from you. Every night when you felt broken but still held on. Every morning when you didn't have strength but still hoped for a better day. God says none of it was ignored. None of it was wasted. None of it was forgotten. Tonight God is lifting the weight that has been sitting on your heart. God says the urgent alert over your life is not to scare you, it is to protect you. It is to warn you. It is to strengthen you. God says something was planned against you spiritually, but heaven is canceling it in advance. Someone was speaking against your happiness, but God has silenced that voice. Someone was hoping you would fall, but God has reversed their intention. Someone wanted your peace to collapse, but God says He is rebuilding your path in a way that no darkness can touch it again. God says you are entering a moment where things may feel intense, emotional, sensitive. You may feel sudden heaviness or confusion. You may feel like something unseen is shifting around you. That is not your imagination. That is the spiritual world rearranging itself. That is God breaking chains you did not even know were there. That is heaven removing the bad news that was approaching you. God says tonight is not your night of fear, tonight is your night of deliverance. You might have felt a strange discomfort today, a sudden worry, a heaviness you could not explain. That was your spirit sensing something moving in the unseen. But God says what was meant to harm you will now become a testimony for you. God says something is being revealed. Something is being exposed. Something is being undone. God says trust Him because He is stepping into your timeline. Trust Him because He is rewriting what the enemy tried to write. Trust Him because what was coming toward you at 11 p.m. was not meant to destroy you, it was meant to be intercepted by your faith. God says when you read this message, a door opened in heaven. A divine shield rose around you. A spiritual block was placed between you and the harm that was on its way. For many days, the enemy tried to attack your mind. Tried to make you anxious. Tried to make you fearful. Tried to make you doubt yourself. tried to make you feel alone. But God says you are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not unprotected. The angels have surrounded your home right now. Archangel Michael stands beside you as a guardian. Heaven is on alert. Heaven is active. Heaven is moving because God is not letting this night pass without protecting you. God says every tear you cried recently was counted. Every fear you carried silently reached Him. Every moment you wanted strength, He heard your spirit call out. And today God says He is lifting you, restoring you, healing you, covering you, protecting you. God says there is something connected to your past that tried to reappear to trouble your peace. Something that once caused you pain attempted to re-enter your energy. But God says He blocked it. He stopped it. He removed it. You may not know what the danger was, but heaven knows. And heaven stopped it because you belong to God. God says you have been walking through battles you didn't talk about. You have been surviving storms nobody knows about. You have been carrying burdens that were too heavy for one heart to carry. But God says tonight He is taking that burden off your shoulders. Tonight He is breaking the pressure. Tonight He is stopping the spiritual attack. Tonight He is giving you relief that you will feel in your spirit like a wave of calm. God says the enemy tried to create fear in your future, but God is creating protection in your present. The attack that was supposed to happen will not manifest. The pain that was supposed to reach you will not touch you. The bad news that was supposed to break you at 11 p.m. has been stopped by heaven. God says you have to trust Him. Even when the message feels urgent. Even when the warning feels serious. Even when the timing feels intense. God says the urgency is because He loves you. Because He is covering you. Because He refuses to let darkness win. God says your destiny is too valuable. Your life is too precious. Your purpose is too important. What is coming next in your life is too big for the enemy to destroy. You were not created for defeat. You were not created for fear. You were created for divine favor, divine protection, divine purpose, divine elevation. God says let the fear go. Let the anxiety go. Let the worry go. You are protected. God says nothing will go wrong for you. Nothing will collapse. Nothing will break. Not tonight. Not at 11 p.m. Not ever, because you are under divine protection. God says your life is shifting tonight. Your spirit is being strengthened tonight. Your path is being cleared tonight. And what was meant to harm you is now being turned into a blessing. God says trust Him, pray, breathe, and know that heaven has already taken control. You are safe. You are protected. You are chosen. You are surrounded by angels. You are covered by God's power. Heaven is fighting for you. Heaven is watching over you. Heaven is stopping the bad news before it reaches your door. God says, you are safe. Trust me. I am with you. Forever.